Hi everyone, greetings from a cold and wet and miserable Melbourne, sadly. I hope you're all having a good night and are a little warmer and more comfortable there. It's wonderful to be a part of this 10-year celebration of where we've come to in the OMS charity over the 10 years since its formation. Could I just say that I think for me the key thing that I constantly remind myself about, and which I think it's important to acknowledge on this occasion, is the courage and commitment of our community. The charity is all about community. It's all about who we represent, essentially. And for me, I constantly think about the courage that it requires for people with MS when faced with this life-altering diagnosis to make the commitment to take a leap of faith as guided by our charity and stand up in the face of what can be quite significant criticism of what people are doing. And much of it will be well-intentioned, and even from family and friends, and sometimes even our healthcare practitioners. But people who now form part of our community have taken that leap of faith, have made that commitment. And I think it's important for us to celebrate that tonight. So if we look back, in fact, to the beginnings of this charity, it was the 27th of May 2011 when I got an email from Linda. And Linda was really excited and had the idea of setting up this charity in the UK, but also more broadly. And her email actually finished with a line along the lines of, "I'm not really sure where this might take us, but I'm really excited." Well, this is where it's taken us at this 10-year anniversary point. We can reflect. And it's actually, as much as anything, our community that's taken us here. And when you think about it, our community has been involved in almost everything we've done. And our community enabled us to have international retreats for the first time in the UK in 2013, in Austria in 2015, and of course, many prior to that in Australia and New Zealand, but many since then internationally, shorter and week-long formats. Our community, incredibly, was involved in the establishment of a major academic research institute at the University of Melbourne, the Neuroepidemiology Unit, which was with the assistance of considerable philanthropic donation from members of our community, rallying behind the enormous thrust given by Linda and Tony Bloom to the establishment of that unit. And when I think back, gosh, in the short space of time that we've been set up since 2015 at the Neuroepidemiology Unit, we've published 64 papers in the world's most prestigious neurology and general medical journals and public health journals. And it's an extraordinary achievement. In fact, I'm stunned to think that a week or two ago there was an editorial in the world's premier neurology journal, the most cited and widely read journal, the American journal Neurology, which is the journal of the American Academy of Neurology. And I quote from the editorial, "There is now sufficient evidence to recommend a healthy diet as an adjunct intervention in MS." How extraordinary to see that in the 10th year anniversary of overcoming MS as a charity. They went on to say that the only thing now is to work out which is the healthiest diet. Well, I think there's pretty sufficient evidence already to suggest that OMS is leading the way with that too. The other thing, of course, our community has enabled us to do is to publish a book which they wrote. The Overcoming MS Handbook also came out this year in the 10th anniversary year of OMS, written by our community for our community to provide a roadmap and a plan for people to follow. But all of this, of course, would have been largely impossible, I think, without the extraordinary dedication, passion and commitment of Linda Bloom, who injected all of herself, her soul, into this venture, such that by the 2015 mark, only 3 years into the establishment of the charity, it had been registered in the UK and the US and Australia as a charity. Linda, I take my hat off to you. It's an extraordinary achievement. And I think those of us in the OMS community need to be mindful of just how much you've put of yourself into this and how much of a debt we owe you. But of course, it's not just one person, and the team around Linda, the board, that's most of whom have been there right from the beginning, the extraordinary team at OMS, the facilitators, the various volunteers we have who help out in all sorts of different ways. And of course, not least, our community, our brave, committed community. And I salute our community on this really important night. So have a great night celebrating the 10th anniversary. I hope it goes really well, and congratulations everyone. Bye for now.